What would your family actually eat if the power went out, the fridge stopped being reliable, or grocery store shelves became harder to count on for a few days? Most people do not like to think about that question. And that is understandable. Nobody wants to imagine stressful situations. Nobody wants to plan their life around fear. But being prepared does not have to be extreme. It does not have to be complicated. And it does not mean filling your home with expensive survival food. Sometimes, real preparedness starts with something much simpler. Knowing what meals you can make with the food you already have. Because here is the part most people overlook. Having pantry food is not the same as having pantry meals. A few cans, a few bags of rice, pasta, beans, crackers, soup, or snacks may look like preparation. But when normal routines are disrupted, the real question becomes, what can you actually make with it? What would you use first? What meals could you put together without fresh ingredients? What would you make if the fridge became unreliable? What would you make if cooking options were limited? What would your family eat for breakfast? For lunch? For dinner? For snacks? For comfort? And how would you avoid wasting the food you already have? These are the questions most people only ask after the pressure has already started. And that is when simple decisions can suddenly feel stressful. You open the pantry, you see random ingredients, a can of beans, a box of pasta, a jar of sauce, some rice, maybe oatmeal, maybe tuna, maybe peanut butter, maybe a few shelf-stable snacks. But without a plan, those items do not automatically turn into meals. They are just ingredients. And ingredients can feel overwhelming when you are tired, stressed, or trying to take care of other people. That is why pantry planning matters. Not because you expect the worst every day, but because a little structure can make ordinary disruptions much easier to handle. A storm, a power outage, a temporary supply issue, a busy week, a tight grocery budget, an unexpected situation where going to the store is not simple. In those moments, having a basic pantry meal plan can bring a sense of order. And that order matters. Because food is not just food. Food is routine. Food is comfort. Food is stability. Food is one less thing to panic about when everything else feels uncertain. Now, most pantry advice online focuses on what to buy. Buy this, store that, stock up on these items. And while a shopping list can be helpful, it is not enough. Because if you only focus on storage, you may end up with shelves full of food and no clear idea how to use it. The better question is not only, what should I store? The better question is, what meals can I build? That simple shift changes everything. Instead of thinking only in individual items, you begin thinking in meal combinations. Breakfast options, lunch options, simple dinners, no-cook meals, low-cook meals, one-pot meals, kid-friendly meals, comfort meals, shelf-stable snacks, use-first foods, backup meals, restock notes. And suddenly, your pantry is not just a storage area. It becomes a practical household system. A system that helps you make decisions before you are under pressure. And this does not need to be complicated. You do not need to become an expert. You do not need special equipment. You do not need expensive freeze-dried food. You do not need to follow extreme survival advice. You can start with normal grocery store foods. Foods like rice, pasta, oats, beans, tuna, canned vegetables, soup, shelf-stable milk, nut butter, crackers, sauces, dried fruit, and simple pantry staples. The key is organizing those foods into meals before you need them. Because when you know what you can make, you feel more prepared. When you know what to use first, you reduce waste. When you know what to restock, your pantry stays more useful. And when you have simple meal ideas written down, you do not have to invent everything in the moment. This is especially important for families. Because in a disruption, people still need familiar routines. Children still need snacks. Adults still need simple meals. And everyone benefits from having comfort foods and easy options available. The goal is not perfection. The goal is practical readiness. A pantry plan that feels realistic. A structure you can actually use. A simple way to look at your shelf-stable foods and know what meals they can become. So imagine having a clear plan for the first few days. A 7-day pantry meal structure, then a 14-day structure, then a 30-day framework you can build toward gradually. Imagine having a list of shelf-stable meal ideas you can choose from. Not just 1 or 2 ideas, but a wide range of breakfasts, lunches, dinners, snacks, comfort meals, no-cook meals, low-cook meals, and family-friendly combinations. Imagine having printable worksheets where you can write down what you already have, what you need to use first, what you should restock, and what simple meals you can prepare. Imagine having a way to organize your pantry by meal purpose instead of just stacking random items on a shelf. That is the difference between owning pantry food and having a pantry meal system. And that is why the Emergency Pantry Meal System was created. The Emergency Pantry Meal System is a practical digital guide designed to help ordinary households organize shelf-stable pantry meals with more clarity. It is not about fear. It is not about extreme claims. It is not about promising that one guide can prepare you for every possible situation. It is simply a structured way to organize pantry meals, meal ideas, grocery categories, rotation notes, and printable planning pages. Inside, you will find an expanded 53-page digital guide built around practical household pantry planning. You get more than 180 shelf-stable meal ideas. You get 7-day, 14-day, and 30-day pantry planning frameworks. You get meal ideas for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, comfort foods, no-cook meals, low-cook meals, and simple family-friendly options. You get grocery categories that help you think through what belongs in your pantry. You get storage and rotation notes so you can think about what should be used first and what should be replaced. You get restock pages, reference charts, and printable worksheets so you can create a plan that fits your home. The guide is designed for everyday people. You do not need survival experience. You do not need to be an expert. You do not need complicated recipes. You simply need a clearer way to think about the food you already have and the meals you may want ready in advance. You can save the guide to your device. You can print the key pages. You can keep the worksheets with your household planning materials. And because it is digital, you do not have to wait for shipping. After purchase, you receive digital access. No physical product will be shipped. The Emergency Pantry Meals System is available today for a one-time payment of $37. There is no subscription. Your purchase is also covered by a 60-day money-back guarantee, no questions asked. So you can review the guide, go through the planning pages, and decide if it is right for you. If you want a practical way to organize pantry meals before a short-term disruption, power outage, storm, busy week, or supply issue makes food decisions more stressful, then this system was created to help. Click the button on this page to get instant digital access to the Emergency Pantry Meal System today. Download it, save it, print the pages you need, and start turning your pantry into a simple, organized meal plan your household can actually use.